Hey everybody, welcome to our compositing webinar. My name's Glenn Matchett. I'm based in MPC London. I'm joined today by Matt Packham, who's our head of compositing in Bangalore. Hey Matt.
Hey guys, hey Glenn.
So we're going to give you guys a bit of a rundown about what's happening in compositing in Bangalore, and we're on a bit of a recruitment drive at the minute. And I'm going to just pass over to Matt, maybe to set the scene in terms of what we're recruiting for at the minute, and so how we're looking to ramp up.
Yeah, so I mean, in Bangalore right now, we're kind of in the middle of a big expansion of the comp team. I think we're already one of the biggest comp teams in the world. You know, I think we're sort of just over 250 compers at the moment, and we're looking to get even bigger than that. You know, we're going to be doing the majority of the comp work across all the sites of MPC in Bangalore this year. Got some huge shows coming up, so yeah, you know, we're looking for talented compers to come on board. You know, people who like a challenge and to come and join the team.
Matt, in terms of, I mean, you were saying there that the team in Bangalore now pretty much lead the comp efforts for MPC on a global basis. So presumably that means that the type of shots that are being worked on there are kind of not just your sort of substandard outsourced shots that maybe have been traditionally worked on in India, and MPC Bangalore kind of leads the way when it comes to comp.
Yeah, exactly. So now with the shows that we're working on right now and the shows we have coming up this year, we're going to be, you know, doing look development work on sequences as well as doing, you know, the most complex, biggest shots on these shows. So it's the full range of shots that we're going to be doing now. Yeah, it's not just set looks that we've been given from the other sites. You know, we're going to be leading on certain sequences on these shows.
So presumably that means you're looking for talent at quite a lot of different levels in terms of experience and skills, because if there's a lot of volume coming through the studio, you need a lot of members of the team, but also you need maybe guys who have been around the block a bit when it comes to, you know, working in comp.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I always say we're really whatever level. You know, I'm always looking for people that enjoy a challenge, enjoy this sort of collaboration of what it is to work on a shot. You know, people that aren't shy about kind of bringing something to the table themselves. So, you know, not just going into a daily session, receiving notes, addressing those notes, going back into a daily session. You know, it's much more going into dailies, presenting your shot, having some ideas on what direction that shot needs to go in, and then, you know, working with the comp soup and the VFX soup to achieve that. You know, and I think that, you know, really that goes to sort of a lesser or greater extent on whether it's look dev on a shot or whether it's a simpler, you know, junior mid-level shot.
And just talking about the junior levels for a minute, we're having a few questions in already from some of the guys that are tuned in today, just about hiring freshers into MPC, and I know we've run academies in the past. So what are the opportunities like for maybe talents who are just graduating from education and coming into the industry? Are there opportunities for those guys?
Yeah, I think there are. I mean, you know, we're as you mentioned already, we're always expanding. You know, there's new shows coming in all the time. So, you know, I think there's always going to be opportunity for people that are trying to, you know, start out in compositing and get a foot in the door. You know, and if that opportunity isn't actually this month. You know, it's going to come up in the months to come for sure. And also, you know, we're constantly working on our, you know, the academy we run, the training and upskilling we're doing for the guys that come onto the team as well to help with that.
Oh, and just on that, so I think that the message there, I suppose, is that even if there isn't an academy to apply for straight away, the prospects of growth are pretty strong in terms of where MPC is heading for comp in India. So get your applications in, and you'll at least go into our talent pool there, and then as and when an opportunity comes up, we'll at least have your details on file, sort of thing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think just keep trying, keep pushing it. You know, and if it doesn't happen immediately, there's also a lot of things that people can do to keep training their eye and keep trying to work on test shots and because the more of that we can see when we interview people for the academies, especially the more confidence that gives us that people are gonna do well when they come in.
So for I mean, just for maybe some of the guys who have not got any experience at all of applying to MPC, you would expect to see a show reel from these guys, and what might be the basic things you would look at for someone who's maybe applying for an entry-level role with the company?
Yeah, I think for at that sort of level, we're really looking to see that someone has an eye for what makes an image look photoreal, and that can be looking at black levels of an image to if you're compositing CG over a live action background, how do you make that CG sit into a plate and look photoreal, and the grading that you use to do that. If it's a green screen or a blue screen, what someone's kind of eye like for the detail on the edges to kind of really sit two images together and make it look believable. Because I think that's half the battle, is seeing that there's a problem in the first place, or seeing that something doesn't look quite right, and then thinking to yourself, why doesn't it look right, and what do I need to change? And that's I think once you've kind of mastered that, the rest is kind of technically knowing how to address those issues. But if you can't see it in the first place, then that's the most difficult thing.
And in terms of like the duration or number of shots you would look for on a reel, I mean, presumably you're not looking for something that's sort of 5 or 6 minutes long. Is it like 1 or 2 shots, or even one shot where they actually nail the sort of photo reel compositing, or what would you expect kind of as a minimum for the applications to sort of have?
Yeah, I think you're exactly right. I mean, I'd much rather see 2 or 3 shots, even 2 shots, that really look good, and tell me what I was just saying about someone, than a 5-minute reel, or even a 2-minute reel with a whole load of shots on that don't really tell that story. So I think people should just need to sort of think about what's on the reel, put stuff on there that you really think sells you as an artist, and don't worry about filling it with loads of shots that don't tell the story so well.
Okay, and there's just a few questions. I mean, as expected, a lot of the guys here joining us are junior level, maybe looking to come into the business or looking to come into the company, like at academy level. So at the minute, there's not an academy open for applications, but we will be looking to bring in junior talent maybe later in the year. So the advice to those guys might be just to apply, so we've got their details on file.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I mean, if we don't have an opening right now, it's definitely good to apply, and then we'll obviously try and arrange interviews as soon as we can, so that then we know who you are, and then you're there when we do have the opening.
Cool. And just a little bit about yourself then, Matt. You've been a bit of an MPC stalwart for quite a few years. You've been around the houses when it comes to working in the different studios in both in Canada and London, and now in Bangalore. What was it that attracted you to move to Bangalore and to take up the challenge of leading the comp team there?
I think when I first came to Bangalore 4 years ago, before that I'd been working at MPC in London for a good few years up to that point. So I liked the idea of coming to Bangalore. At that time, it was a newer comp team, so that came with its own challenges of continuing this, sort of setting up the team at that time. So I think it was the challenge that time that attracted me, and then coming this year, I arrived at the beginning of January this year. It was again, kind of the challenge of coming into a much bigger team this time, but I knew how much I enjoyed working with the guys here, and the passion and the talent that the guys on the team have, and just being part of what's happening at the moment, the way we're kind of trying to build up the size of the team and the challenge of taking on the work that we're going to be doing. I think it is an exciting time to be here. There's no doubt about that.
Cool. And you mentioned a little bit earlier about the guys when they come on the team, how you look to sort of nurture their skills and maybe help them with training, and there's a whole learning and development piece when it comes to investing in them as individuals. How do you approach that? How does the company approach that with sort of helping them get better at what they do?
Yeah, I think we're sort of constantly trying to run masterclasses for the guys on the team. So that's one thing we do. Sort of identify areas where groups of people need some upskilling, whether that's for the requirements of a particular show, or for a particular tool that we're using. Maybe it's one of MPC's proprietary tools. So we do a lot of masterclasses on that type of thing, and then we do have our learning management system, where we can also kind of individually target artists when we see they need help or upskilling in a certain area.
Okay, and I'm just looking at some of the questions coming through, Matt. Somebody's asked a question about After Effects versus Nuke. You want to talk a little bit about the software that we use here? I mean, it's pretty much Nuke is what you need to get your head around, really, isn't it?
Yeah. I think the Nuke is obviously sort of standard VFX software these days, and it's my kind of hazy knowledge of After Effects is Nuke is much more of a node-based system. So but it is easy to get into. I'd advise anyone who's familiar at using After Effects. And I remember like years ago I worked with a guy who'd done a lot of motion graphics on After Effects, and he was kind of trying to transfer to Nuke at the time, and he had the general sort of compositing principles down. It was just sort of learning the more sort of node based system of Nuke, and once you get into that, and it's like I say, it's quite easy to get into, really, with all the online tutorials that there are these days. If you understand the principles, learn the software, the nodes in Nuke, and before you know it, it's you're not looking back, basically.
And what about a question from Pradeep, who wants to know about other software in the pipeline? How important is it at MPC for you not to only have a good knowledge of Nuke, but to have a knowledge of maybe the other departments that you're interacting with and working with?
I think it's. I mean, I think it's important. It's not crucial that someone comes into the company knowing that, but it is something that I've always sort of tried to promote. You know, that we do sort of share that knowledge a little bit between departments, and I know in the other departments too. You know, they also want to kind of have a bit of comp knowledge. So it is actually one of the things we're going to try and work on this year, of sort of spreading that knowledge a little bit more. So, you know, guys in comp have a little bit of Maya knowledge, you know, a little bit of the layouts obviously work in Maya, and you know, and even a little bit of effects and Houdini, Katana for lighting, you know, a little bit of that as well. So there is a little bit of knowledge, you know, to help the departments work together better.
Cool. Okay. And can you talk a little bit about how, whilst Bangalore leads the way in comp, how it kind of fits in with the overall global team? Because clearly, comp's at the end of the process when it comes to putting together a VFX shot. So how do you interact with maybe the other studios? And you know, if somebody comes to work at MPC, will they be dealing with more than just the people sort of sitting at the desk beside them? Will they be working with people in the other studios? How does that sort of setup work?
Yeah, so I think, you know, more than ever this year, it's so much about working closely with the other sites, with Montreal, Vancouver, and London. So, you know, we're trying as best we can to sort of in comp dailies, for example, even if someone's in Vancouver or Montreal, we run the daily sessions as though that person is in the room, you know, and we have, you know, our sort of new communication tools that allow us to do that. So you know, there's a lot of contacts with the other sites, and what we want to try and do more of is, you know, whatever level the artists are at, you know, not just supervisors and leads, but any artist, if they walk into a daily session, they're going to be presenting their shot potentially to a VFX soup who's sitting in Montreal. So it's definitely all about that this year.
And just maybe back a little bit on the sort of learning and development piece. How does that set up an artist for progression through the company? You know, would you look to bring somebody on as when we have academies running, and then hopefully sort of push them right through the various levels so they eventually will become, you know, maybe a lead artist or even a head of department?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we're even head of department. We're I think we're constantly sort of pinpointing and defining the skills that people need to move up through the levels in the department. So, you know, if that means through learning and development, or, you know, making sure artists get the right kind of opportunity on, and the right kind of shots and responsibility on the shows they're working on as well. And because we are expanding, and, you know, I guess I'm the classic example of that in a way. You know, there's always so much opportunity for people that can deliver the goods to, you know, to take on more responsibility and you know, really be challenged and move up in the department.
Sure. And do you in Bangalore, do we hire artists into roto and move them across to comp, or will they come straight into comp, or is there potential to do a bit of both?
Yeah, we do a bit of both at the moment, because we you know, I mean, internally and externally, actually, you know, I'm always interested if I see someone either from our own roto prep department externally as well. If I can see someone's got a good foundation in roto and prep, then that also sort of gives me confidence that they're used to working at the level of detail that we need to see in comp as well.
Cool. And just wondering, is it worth talking a little bit about artists relocating from other parts of India to work in Bangalore? I know recently we've been on a bit of a recruitment drive going to various different cities around the country. You've been up to Mumbai and Pune and Hyderabad, and I think you're planning to go to Chennai in early March. What sort of success have you had with guys who've maybe come down from Mumbai to live in Bangalore? Has that kind of been a sort of successful way of recruiting for the team?
Yeah. I mean, I kind of, I know from before I arrived this time in January, and since I've been here, it like you say, it does feel like we're drawing every compositor in India slowly to Bangalore, to MPC, and I think it has been successful. I think the guys that have come here, they've liked coming to Bangalore, and enjoy being part of the team we're building here. So I think it's working well.
And what do you yourself enjoy about Bangalore? Obviously, you're not from India originally, but what do you enjoy about it as a city? I know that when I was there, a lot of the feedback I got was just from a climate point of view, it's kind of a much more enjoyable state of affairs when it comes to the weather versus maybe places like Mumbai or some of the cities further north. But what's your experience been of living in the city?
Yeah, I guess, I mean, like you say, for someone like myself coming from the UK and recently living in Montreal as well, the weather is amazing here. But yeah, it's a cool city to be in, I think, as well. It's a busy Indian city. It's very hectic, but there's a lot going on here. There's a lot of good food. And I kind of, I've just kind of generally enjoyed my experiences in Bangalore.
And on a sort of cultural level for MPC, what kind of happens outside of work? Is there, maybe talk a little bit about there's various clubs and things that happen, from a social point of view, just to sort of counterbalance the work side of things?
Yeah, we do. There's a lot of football teams, cricket teams. We have social events. We have a sort of quarterly social budget. Where we can arrange outings for the team. So I think there's quite a lot of that kind of stuff that goes on.
Cool. Okay, well, there's a few more questions coming in. I'll just probably won't keep you much longer, because I mean the key thing we just really want to get across to people to apply for the roles that we've got available at the minute, and the best place for everyone to apply is on our website. So if you go to www.mpc.jobs, that's a good place to find where the applications are. Also, he's not on the webinar today, but Ashok is our talent manager based in Bangalore, who deals with hiring compositors. So he's a good person to connect with on LinkedIn. Again, if you go to our website, there's a link there to connect with Ashok Rajabal. So he's our talent manager based in Bangalore there. So if there's any questions that we haven't been able to answer during this session, by all means pick it up with Ashok. He's a good guy to talk to about the roles that we've got available. He'll also be able to update as and when we've got the next round of academies coming in, and any other bits and pieces you may want to ask about MPC. I'm just seeing if there's any other areas we want to maybe talk about this afternoon. So I mean, just to recap, Matt, a little bit. So from a recruitment level right now, maybe looking at a slightly more senior skew from what you're looking to fill, because from a sort of junior and entry level position at this very moment in time. Maybe not recruiting quite as heavily for that, but that may change. So really we're looking for maybe people who've got a little bit of experience within the industry to get in touch and apply for the roles that we've got.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think, you know, with the shows that we've got coming up, you know, Dumbo, Tim Burton's Dumbo, the Lion King, Godzilla, you know, these are massive shows, and as I was saying earlier, you know, we're going to be doing a lot of kind of highly complex shots here in Bangalore, and including look dev and, you know, establishing sequence looks for a lot of these shows. So definitely, you know, if anyone enjoys a challenge and enjoys working on those type of high profile shows, and also, you know, wants to come to Bangalore, then, you know, I think you know, this is the place to be to pick up that kind of work.
Okay, great. Okay, I think we'll probably leave it there for today. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Do apply on our website, mpc.jobs. And if you've got any further questions about compositing or anything that we're doing at MPC, do feel free to get in touch either with myself or specifically for compositing. You can connect with Ashok, who's our talent manager based in Bangalore, who recruits for compositing. And yeah, keep an eye on our website when we'll update that as and when we're recruiting for our entry-level roles in our academy. And we'll also update that with the new shows that we're working on, the positions that we've got. So final word for you, Matt?
Come to Bangalore, it's amazing. We do amazing work. That's all I can say. Thanks, guys.
In a nutshell. Cheers, Matt. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.